We are keeping our eyes on the war in Iran, where the rockets and missiles continue to fly this hour. President Trump telling the world he had no choice but to fire first, meeting with the German chancellor today when he told reporters the war is going very well for us, very bad for Iran.
Amazingly, they're hitting countries that were, let's call them neutral, right? They lived together for a long time. I think they were surprised. I was surprised. And now those countries are all fighting against them and fighting strongly against them.
And we'll have more later in the broadcast. Wednesday News Time 2:11, and now let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrell.
Heavy delays in New Jersey, Larry, if you're traveling on the westbound side of 280, heading towards 21 over in Harrison. And then there's also another issue with Route 280. You do have a water main break. This is eastbound by exit 11 over in Orange. The ramp is actually closed because of it. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 15 minutes into the George Washington Bridge, 30 on the outbound side with the cross Bronx delays, 10 minutes round trip at the Lincoln and Holland will take it. West Side Highway, do that over the east side of Manhattan because we had heavy delays southbound Howland River Drive passing the Triborough by exit 17. Roving repairs are going to slow you down there. And the northbound FDR is terrible from 59th Street all the way up to the area of 125th Street on the Triborough. The Triborough Bridge Manhattan span is also feeling the brunt of this with those delays on the Howland River Drive. So that's slow across Randall's Island. Andre Farrow, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
And now your AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Meteorologist Brian Thompson here now with this live report.
Well, Larry, we have some rain falling across much of the area right now. That's going to continue through the remainder of this afternoon. Even into tonight, we'll still have some rain and drizzle at times. Now, at least here in the near term, there still could be a few icy spots, perhaps some sleet or a little bit of freezing rain in some areas, especially north and west of 287, where we still have some winter weather advisories in effect. High temperatures approaching 40 as we head late into the day and into tonight, as temperatures really won't drop much at all tonight, as we'll still have some intermittent rain and drizzle. Turning warmer for tomorrow, clouds will break forth some sun, while the high at 51. And cloudy on Thursday, we'll have some rain and drizzle at times. Thursday's high about 48, and still some drizzle into Friday morning. Otherwise cloudy, cool, and damp. Friday's high 44. It does look warmer, though, as we head into the weekend. Light rain and 33 degrees. Right now in Midtown, we're heading up to 40. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Almost half of everybody working in America want to change jobs. That's according to the employment platform FlexJobs. Says here 4 out of 10 people trying to change their 9-to-5s this year. They're concerned about possible layoffs, artificial intelligence, and work-life balance. Only thing, they're finding out the grass isn't always greener. The survey was done last month and included over 4,000 people. The study says while a good chunk want to switch, the data shows that they're still reluctant because they haven't fully defined the role they want or how their existing skill set would translate, so they end up staying put. Well, for the last 5 years, Hollywood hitters Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack have owned Wrexham AFC, that's the Welsh football club, and their exploits were chronicled in the FX series Welcome to Wrexham.
I'm still a little speechless. I think we can hear how it feels to the town.
Anything can happen in this sport.
So now, can you guess who'll be calling a live Wrexham soccer match this month? The club has had a remarkable turnaround, getting league promotions and bringing in blue-chip sponsors, not to mention making the entertainment titans the toast of the town. It's also led to the small-town regional soccer team getting some global love. Now, the two will co-host a live broadcast for the club when they play Swansea City on March the 13th. Those who follow the sport will get a kick out of it. They'll do unscripted match analysis and real-time reactions and act the fool, basically. They're streaming it here in the States on Paramount Plus, by the way, if you want to watch. The New Jersey Host Committee for the World Cup kicking up a notch, unveiling a 100-day countdown clock at the shops at Columbus Circle. It's counting down to the tournament's opening match on June 11th in Mexico City before resetting the clock to track the countdown's final at MetLife on July the 19th. The clock features official FIFA World Cup 2026 branding, and it invites visitors to take pictures and scan the on-site QR code for tournament info, match details, regional fan experiences, how to listen to 1010 wins. Toss that last one in for free. New York and New Jersey will host 8 FIFA World Cup matches, including Le Finale. Oh, we told you about a little monkey, which boosted sales at IKEA last month when it was seen at a zoo in Japan playing with a stuffed toy from the retailer. And now everybody went out there and emptied the shelves in 4 countries where they have stores. Now there's more monkeying around with stuffed animals at a zoo.
Punch, the baby monkey in Japan, was onto something. The Phoenix Zoo has shared a video of a 4-year-old Siamang named Bodhi cuddling his own fuzzy orangutan doll, Punch, and the toy went viral when his keepers at the Ichikawa Zoo gave him the IKEA plushie as a surrogate mom after his parents abandoned him. Officials at the Phoenix Zoo say Bodhi has a tight-knit family. They gave him the stuffed animal for behavioral enrichment. It's bringing in big bucks on the secondary market after selling out at IKEA. Deborah Rodriguez for 1010 Wins.
Yeah, I'd say Punch and Bodie should get a commission and a lifetime supply of bananas. And not to be funny, but officials in an Ohio community say Rocky and Bullwinkle were responsible for that network outage, which caused several government offices to lose both phone and internet services the other day. Yeah, Medina County officials say a meddlesome squirrel caused the February 20th outage, which sapped the phone and internet lines, including the county prosecutor's office. Oh, boy. At first, they blamed the outage on some contractors who might have, sliced through an underground fiber or whatever. Hopefully nobody got fired. Nope, it was a squirrel that built a nest inside the fiber infrastructure and chewed through multiple lines because in squirrel talk, you can't let a stupid cable get in the way of a nice soft pad. They were talking about it at a county board meeting the other day. Officials said the thing chewed through several fiber optic lines. Golly. So they've taken steps now to keep it from happening again. Headlines coming up next. From the legendary thrills of Coney Island to the cultural center of Staten Island Snug Harbor, we are New York's all-news station, 1010 Wins.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Yeah, we're still giving you light rain right now. 34 degrees, it's 2:20. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. The latest from Iran and the White House as the war escalates, leaving hundreds dead, and a president who says the war is going well. Today touting the fall of the Iranian military machine and its leadership. We'll also hear what Mir Mamdani has to say about it, already making it clear he does not support the idea of war, but leaves the White House aired. A win for Governor Hochul against the White House in its attempt to kill off congestion pricing, a federal judge ruling that it was illegal for the administration to try and cancel the program and threaten to take away federal dollars as leverage. Also today, a court hearing challenging another administration move, this time involving Mahmoud Khalil. He's the activist and former Columbia graduate, appealing his immigration ruling. And in 1010 Wins Entertainment, Warner Brothers announcing there's a Game of Thrones movie in the works. Oh, yes, it is. Headed for the big screen. AccuWeather says cloudy with intermittent rain. We'll get to a high of 40 degrees on this Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday News Time 221, and let's get you where you need to go now. How about it, Greg?
Let's go to Brooklyn. No sleep till Brooklyn if you're traveling on the westbound side of the belt over by Coney Island Avenue. Bumper-to-bumper traffic there. And the eastbound side is slow over by Pennsylvania Avenue. We have a sloppy track out there. You want to take it slow as it is. Westbound across the Kosciuszko from the LIE to the Willie B is bumper-to-bumper. And westbound continuing to be slow as you make your way towards Flushing Avenue. The inbound Gowanus, 39th Street up to the Brooklyn Bridge. Nah, no thanks. Northbound FDR, if you're traveling from the 59th Street Bridge all the way up to the Triborough, slow, and the southbound Harlem River Drive remains busy. Passing the Triborough with those roving repairs, and the Triborough Bridge Manhattan span is slow heading towards the Harlem River Drive. At least 15 in at the George, 25 to 30 out with the cross Bronx delays, 10 minutes round trip of the Lincoln in Holland. Westbound 280 New Jersey, heavy passing 21. There's also a problem on the eastbound side of 280 over by the area of exit 11. There's a water main break, and this just came in. We have a disabled truck now on the George Washington Bridge. It's the upper level inbound. Center lane is blocked, so the delays are going to start kicking in, and I'm going to let you know all about that. Andre Ferro, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon. Check out my True Oldies channel in the car at 92.3 FM HD3. And at home on your smart speaker, just say, Alexa, play Scott Shannon's True Oldies on Odyssey.
President Trump says it's too little too late for Iran to try to have a conversation with him, saying their military is basically depleted as they run out of ammo and that the war is going well. Trump says maybe somebody from within Iran will be the best choice to take power since the U.S. and Israel have finished, or once they finish.
That is coming along, as you see, very well. They have no Navy. It's been knocked out. They have no Air Force. It's been knocked out. They have no air detection. That's been knocked out. Their radar has been knocked out. And just about everything's been knocked out.
As to a successor to the now deceased Ayatollah, Trump was asked who would be the best successor and if the exiled Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi would be his choice to take over.
I guess he has some people like him, and we haven't been thinking about too much about that. It would seem to me that somebody from within maybe would be more appropriate. I've said that.
Meantime, the American embassy in Saudi Arabia has come under drone attack now, and Americans in the region finding themselves stuck after many airlines canceled flights. The airspace over the Gulf has been closed, but we understand that they're talking about sending in charter planes to help people get out safely. Here at home, Mayor Mamdani doubled down on his stance against the U.S. attack on Iran and the taking out of its leadership. 1010 Wins is at City Hall.
Even as he's denounced the actions of the U.S. and Israeli governments, Mayor Mamdani says his priority is New Yorkers' safety.
I've also focused my time and efforts in being in constant communication with our police commissioner as well as emergency management officials.
Security has been ramped up at sensitive locations.
So at this time, there are no threats to share with the public. Everything that we are doing is out of an abundance of caution.
And the mayor says he has not spoken with President Trump since the bombing began. Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
And again, we invite you to stay with 1010 Wins for the very latest developments on this escalating war. It has obviously taken a toll on Wall Street. We will have more coming up at 26 past. A federal judge has ruled the Fed's attempt to end congestion pricing in New York was illegal, handing a major victory to our state in defense of the nation's first-of-its-kind traffic reduction plan, which the Trump administration tried for more than a year to kill off. It was a 149-page decision on part of Judge Lewis Lyman, which puts the heated battle between Governor Hochul and the White House to rest. The White House has claimed without any evidence that the pricing formula would harm the region's economy. Trump Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy had warned that the Fed would withhold approval and funding to several highway and transit projects in New York if congestion pricing wasn't canceled. Governor Hochul basically told him to go to hello, is this thing working? A judge agreed. Case over. No word on whether the Trump White House will try to appeal. Well, this is very disturbing. There is a new report from Consumer Reports which says some baby formula is still loaded with heavy metal. They tested a lot of them and found that more than half the formulas were found to have contaminants despite the FDA's pledge last year to clean things up and to tighten oversight of the industry. Boy, oh boy, in any event, they're saying that a lot of women buy these formulas because they are not as expensive and that they are part of the WIC program. Some of the old staples, Enfamil and Similac, had products in the good and bad categories. And now, Bloomberg Money Watch.
And we could be looking at another war on the horizon, a trade war. It's after President Trump earlier today said he will cut off trade with Spain over its airbase use. Spain, in response, says if the administration wishes to review its trade relationship, it must do so while respecting the autonomy of private companies and international law. New fudge and caramel empanadas are coming to Taco Bell. For $2.99, you get one filled with salted caramel and a classic crust, the other wrapped in a chocolatey shell stuffed with fudge. New empanadas are available at Taco Bell in about 2 weeks. I'm Matt Piper, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
1010 Wins.
I love that I get the news without the bias.
I totally trust what they say.
All news, all the time.
1010 Wins.
On 92.3 FM.
34 degrees, Wins News Time, 2:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Lori Madden. The Iran war may be hitting you in the wallet. You'll know that when you fill up your gas tank. AAA today says gas prices rose 11 cents a gallon on average in the United States overnight. The market has also been taking a hit today with the Dow at 1 point, plunging 1,000 points. It has been recovering. President Trump today predicted high oil prices for a little while, but he's also predicting that they will come down when the operation ends.
Special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Day 4 of the Middle East conflict leading to more U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iranian targets, and Iran has not let up its attacks across the region. The Trump administration, who criticized the Biden administration for its handling of the rushed Afghanistan withdrawal, now scrambling to organize charter flights from Israel and a half a dozen Arab states. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
The State Department says that they are securing military planes and charter flights for Americans who want to get out of the region. Right now, there are thousands of Americans who are stuck in the Middle East because of those really tight restrictions right now on commercial air travel because of the strikes that Iran has launched in retaliation and, of course, these ongoing strikes by the United States and Israel.
The president defended his decision to launch strikes against Iran, saying
in his opinion, Iran was set to attack Israel and other nations. The Senate set to vote on a resolution tomorrow aimed at limiting the president's war powers. This is ABC News.
Wins News Time, 2:31. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrow.
And we have delays on Staten Island as you travel westbound Staten Island Expressway from Richmond Road to Victory Boulevard. And the southbound West Shore Expressway is seeing some volume if you're heading down towards the Outer Bridge crossing. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. At least 20 minutes in at the George Washington Bridge, about 35 on the outbound side with the Cross Bronx delays. 10 minutes round trip of the Lincoln and Holland. Heavy delays on the westbound side of 280 in New Jersey over by Exit or Route 21, I should say. FDR delays are wicked from the 59th Street Bridge up to the Triborough, and roving repairs southbound Harlem River Drive that are going to slow you down as well. Passing the Triborough, the Manhattan span of the Triborough Bridge is busy, and the Triborough Bridge entering Queens is going to be slow right around Steinway Street on the eastbound Grand Central Parkway. Whitestone looks a little better than the Throgs Neck if you're Queensbound, but stick with the Clearview over the southbound Cross Island parking lot. Andre Farrow, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check now of your AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Well, Lori, we've had a wet afternoon across much of the area. Still seeing a little bit of sleet, a touch of freezing rain mixed in with the rain in some areas north and west of 287 in northwest New Jersey through the Hudson Valley, Connecticut. That's where there still could be a few icy spots into the early part of tonight, but in and around the city should just be wet pavement from here on out. Temperatures will actually slowly rise tonight to near 40 by early tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be a warmer day with times of clouds and sun, high 51. Clouding up tomorrow night, perhaps a little rain late, low 42, and periods of rain and drizzle Thursday, a high of 48, so another round of rain comes through. That moves out early Friday, but still kind of a cloudy, cool, damp day Friday with a high of 44 before it turns warmer this weekend. Light rain and 33 degrees right now in Midtown. Temperatures will rise to near 40 later tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
A month after Nancy Guthrie's disappearance in Arizona, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano says progress is being made in the probe.
I think the investigators are definitely closer. We got a lot of intel, a lot of leads, but now it's time to just go to work.
That's what he told NBC News. He didn't say what those leads were. The 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie was last seen the night of January 31st when her son-in-law dropped her off at her home outside of Tucson. The Guthrie family is offering a $1 million reward in connection with the case. Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University student arrested a year ago as the Trump administration first began its immigration crackdown, is appealing a decision by an immigration judge to deport him.
The court said Khalil should be deported for lying about info on his green card application. His attorney, Johnny Sinotis, says the case smacks of authoritarianism.
DHS had actually reviewed his entire case file, including his green card application, and they determined that the information on the green card application did not provide a basis to go after Mahmoud at all.
He says the immigration judge's decision is unconstitutional.
Mahmoud has been targeted. In immigration court, he was prevented from obtaining critical evidence.
In a separate case, still no ruling on whether or not the Trump administration's efforts to deport Khalil are unconstitutional. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was on the hot seat on Capitol Hill today in her first congressional appearance since the deadly ICE shootings in Minnesota.
The committee's ranking member, Democrat Dick Durbin of Illinois, pressed Noem on the fatal shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents in Minnesota.
Do you retract these statements identifying these individuals as domestic terrorists?
You know, Senator Dermott, when we have these situations happen, we always offer our condolences to those families.
Noem touted the increased safety at the southern border and blamed Democrats for the partial government shutdown that has her agents working without pay again.
It's correspondent Michael Wallace. The bison is getting an updated U.S. postage stamp, a new stamp featuring an image of a modern Yellowstone bison taken by wildlife photographer Tom Murphy is superimposed on a historic image of a bison that was featured on a stamp created back in 1923. The U.S. Postal Service says bison, also commonly referred to as buffalo, are uniquely tied to American history. 33 degrees now, raining here in the city. The temperature holding steady throughout the evening. One city, one station, 1010 wins.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 33 degrees at 2:40. I'm Lori Madden, and here's what's happening.
I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen.
President Trump today said the people they had in mind to take over Iran are now dead. The bombing continues in Iran as the American embassy in Saudi Arabia comes under drone attack and Iran retaliates in the Gulf region. Outdoor dining may not be on your mind today, but it's front and center before the city council now considering a package of bills to make it year-round. When it comes to consumer complaints, retail scams, number one on a list of gripes from New Yorkers, or at least the ones filed with the state attorney general. A White House TikTok is not music to Kesha's ears, the singer calling out the administration for using one of her hits in an Iran war video. 1010 Winds AccuWeather says rain and drizzle ends later tonight, low 36 degrees. Milder tomorrow with clouds breaking for sunshine, high 51. Winds News Time 2:41. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrow.
And we're splashing away on the FDR and dealing with delays on the northbound side from 34th Street up to the 79th Street area and pretty much up to 96th Street as well. And the southbound Harlem River Drive remains very slow. They took out one lane right by the Triborough. It's in the right lane. It's just messy around that windy turn there, passing exit 17, which is causing the Triborough Bridge to back up across the Manhattan span. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Well, it's around 15 minutes in at the George Washington Bridge. Not brutal. Outbound, well, it's like 35 minutes because of the cross Bronx delays. Heavy northbound Egan, 3rd Avenue Bridge. Heavy west and eastbound Bruckner trying to get towards the Hunts Point Drawbridge. Seeing bigger delays now. Southbound Hutch in the Bronx, heading down towards the Drawbridge and approaching Pelham Parkway. And the northbound side of the Hutch is always slow from Wolf's Lane to the Cross County Parkway. And they still have not caught the Wolf, by the way. Throgs Neck Bridge trying to get into Queens. That's a tough task on the Bronx side. Go Whitestone and go with a clear view. Andre Farrow, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
We want to first get you caught up this afternoon on the market after today's plunges on Wall Street. Bloomberg Money Watch's Andrew O'Day is here with the very latest. Andrew.
Well, Lori, higher gas prices, and if it keeps going, higher prices for all sorts of things. That's one of the big worries facing markets today as war with Iran looks more like it's going to be protracted. At least the losses for Wall Street are no longer 2.5%. The Dow is losing 283 points, NASDAQ down 199, S&P down 54. The bigger move over in the oil pits. After spiking yesterday, crude futures spiking again today. Right now, it's about 2%, 72.5 a barrel, in large part because Iran controls the narrow Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly a fifth of the world's oil moves, except it's not moving right now. Iran has, for now, shut it down. Lori.
And we will get another update from Money Watch coming up at 56 and 26 minutes past the hour. We also got an update today from President Trump at the White House. He says he ordered the air attack on Iran because he thought Tehran was going to attack first.
They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left. And so they're gonna be in for a lot of hurt.
He was also asked about whose idea it was to attack.
Mr. President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand.
And he says it's unclear who will take over. But the people they had in mind are now dead.
I'd like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people. And we'll see what happens with the people. You know, they have their chance. And we've said don't do it yet. If you're going to go out and protest, don't do it yet. It's very dangerous out there. A lot of bombs are being dropped.
And the bombs continue to drop on Tehran today. Iran, meanwhile, has struck the U.S. embassy in Saudi Arabia in a drone attack. As the war expanded, the Saudi Defense Ministry reported limited fire and minor material damage. No injuries were reported. The president today also told Politico that U.S. defense contractors are under emergency orders to build more weaponry. He also said Iran was running out of missile launchers. The State Department says it's preparing military and charter flights for Americans who want to leave the Middle East, since most air travel in the region has been disrupted. And you're going to start noticing higher prices at the pump, as we just heard from Andrew O'Day a moment ago.
The average price for a gallon of regular unleaded gasoline jumped 11 cents overnight to $3.11 in the U.S. According to Motor Club AAA, Majahad Reed is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It scares me, man. We just started to get some lower prices. I was grateful for it, lower than I've seen in a long time. So if it spikes up, I'm going to be mad again at the government.
Average gas prices nationwide are now the highest they have been in more than a year. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Mayor Mamdani with an update for New Yorkers today.
As the mayor keeps watch on events in Iran and the Middle East, his focus is here at home.
What I would say to Jewish New Yorkers, to Iranian American New Yorkers, to any New Yorker, frankly, is that my primary responsibility is to keep you safe.
Heightened tensions, heightened security.
So what we have done is taken the decision to increase agency coordination, as well as increasing patrols of sensitive locations across the city.
The mayor acknowledges he does not have full security clearance. He says it is a several-month process, but he gets appropriate briefings. He says he has not spoken to President Trump since the bombing began. Julia Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
And make sure you stay with 1010 Wins and 1010wins.com. We will continue to bring you up to date on the operation in Iran. It's not exactly a great day for outdoor dining, but that's what's on the menu at the City Council.
Outdoor dining sheds are a big reason that many restaurants survived during COVID, and New Yorkers have grown to love it. DOT Commissioner Mike Flynn speaking out at a City Council hearing.
Removing seasonal restrictions on roadway cafe operation and providing the option to expand frontage for certain cafes.
And restaurants wouldn't be the only ones allowed to open up roadway cafes. Grocery stores could also.
This bill would also streamline the review process for restaurants applying to operate a sidewalk or roadway cafe by restricting community boards from requiring applicants to supply additional materials. We're continuously exploring new ways to increase program participation and remove barriers to access.
Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
The NYPD looking for 3 people who set a homeless man on fire as he slept outside Penn Station. The 37-year-old man suffered second-degree burns to his arms and back. Police say it happened last night as the man was sleeping outside of the Amtrak Rotunda on West 33rd near 8th Avenue. They say one of the suspects set his clothes on fire, causing a small fire. First responders were called to the scene. They put out the fire and rushed the man to New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell's burn unit, where he is recovering. The suspects ran into the Amtrak station. There have been no arrests. Today we learned the 4 New York City communities that child care for 2-year-olds will be expanded.
The city looked at where New Yorkers are in need of relief from what Mayor Mamdani says is, on the low end, a $20,000 a year expense.
After the housing crisis, the cost of childcare is what's pushing New Yorkers out of this city.
Parents of 2-year-olds in Washington Heights, Kingsbridge, Ozone Park, and East Brooklyn will be able to apply first.
We looked at where are the child care providers and the centers that are ready to ramp up what they're offering, and we found that in these 4 communities. Now, this is just the first step.
The plan is for every 2-year-old in the city to have free child care by the end of Mamdani's first term. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
When it comes to consumer complaints, retail sales are number 1 on the list of New Yorkers' top gripes. That's according to the Office of the New York Attorney General, which released a top 10 of all the complaints that come into the office or came into the office last year. More than 4,800 complaints having to do with all aspects of retail, including online purchases, lousy customer service, deceptive advertising, defective merch, and more were compiled. Second on the list, complaints about internet service and internet fraud, followed by car sales, banking, and landlords. And we want to bring you up to date on our top story this afternoon. President Trump now says he ordered the attack on Iran as a preemptive move.
Based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first, and I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready, and we were ready.
And Israel today stepped up airstrikes against Iranian missile launchers. Stay with 1010 Wins and 1010wins.com as we continue to bring you up to date on the situation in Iran. Wins News Time 2:51. Let's get you where you need to go now. Here's Andre Farrow.
There you have sloppy roads, so you want to reduce speeds as you travel out and about throughout the tri-state area. Let's go to Long Island. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Eastbound Southern, there's a stall right around Fletcher Avenue in the Valley Stream vicinity, but then it gets slow again east on the Southern by the Wantagh Merge, which is always a tough go over in that area. And the westbound side of the Southern is slow over by the Seaford Oyster Bay. Eastbound North State Parkway, some volume heading towards the Wantagh. As you come up the northbound Meadowbrook, it's busy right around Hempstead Turnpike and passing Zackendorf Boulevard by Roosevelt Field Mall. Not much on the LIE, nothing too bad. The Whitestone over the Throgs Neck, if you're coming into Queens, and stick with the Clearview. The Triborough Bridge isn't bad Queens bound, but it's heavy Manhattan bound because of the delays on the southbound Harlem River Drive. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. At least 15 in at the George, 25 minutes outbound. Lincoln and Holland tunnels, you're going to need around 10 minutes round trip. Nothing too bad. It's the Bronx delays that are wicked. Northbound Hutch heading up towards Pelham Parkway, and more delays on the southbound Hutch heading down towards the Drawbridge as well. 95 would be a better option. Andre Farrow, 10-10 wins on 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check now of your AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Lori, we've had a cloudy afternoon. We've had a pretty wet afternoon, too, as we've been seeing some rain and drizzle at times. That's going to continue as we head into tonight. And there could be a few icy spots early, north and west of 287. But again, as we head through the night, pretty much everybody is eventually going to end up above freezing, and eventually the rain will start to taper off as we head into the overnight hours. Temperatures slowly rising to near 40. A warmer day tomorrow with some sunshine returning, so it'll feel pretty nice with a high up to 51. But then the clouds right back up again tomorrow night. A little rain late, low 42. Some rain and drizzle Thursday, high 48. Still some drizzle early Friday. Even into the afternoon, though, still looks pretty cloudy, a high up to 44. Light rain and 33 right now in Midtown. Temperatures will rise to near 40 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Ozfest will be back. That from the creator herself, Sharon Osbourne.
Ozzy and I would talk about it, and he'd say, "Do you think Ozfest would work without me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a brand. It will work without you." And he said we should do it.
Osbourne told Andy Copping at the Download Festival that she sees the music festival returning next year. No word yet on possible acts or dates and locations. The last time Ozfest made the rounds was in 2018, just a month before Ozzy got sick. 33 degrees now. It's raining. The temperature rising tonight. We're going up to 40 degrees. Now Bloomberg Money Watch.
Hi there. Homeland Security